Hello and welcome to today's webinar on Pipedrive Finance Brokers. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your day and joining us to find out a little bit more how Pipedrive can transform the way that finance brokers can manage their workflows, improve client retention, and develop referral partnerships. Now, before we jump right in, I just wanted to be upfront and let you know that this is a pre-recorded webinar, and we've deliberately designed it this way to make it easy for you to watch at any time that suits you and not needing to schedule a time around live events. It means that we can ensure that we cover all key points and still give you the opportunity to reach out with any questions or book a personalized demo. So my name's Ben. I'm one of the senior CRM system architects here at Modi. I've been with Modi and Pipedrive for over 2 years. And as you can see on the slide here, I've been working in the CRM and software space for over a decade. Just a little about Modi. We are a technology solutions company who work with clients looking to invest to improve their business performance. This year we were named Pipedrive Regional Partner of the Year, and this is off the back of being overall Global Partner of the Year last year. Now, we don't do what we do for the awards, but we are proud that this represents the clients that we have helped. Over the years, we have worked with a number of finance brokers across Australia and New Zealand, helping them streamline operations, reduce time spent on admin, and ultimately closing more deals with less effort. We've seen firsthand the challenges in the mortgage and asset finance space, whether it's tracking deals, chasing documents, or ensuring nothing slips through the cracks. We know that brokers can often find themselves buried in admin work. And this is where our finance industry solution can make all the difference. So who's this webinar for? So this webinar has been designed for finance professionals who maybe are currently using a mix of spreadsheets and emails to track and manage deals. Potentially you're new to a CRM, or you know that you need a CRM and you're not too sure how to go about it, or that you're already using Pipedrive and want to make sure that you are getting the most from it. Now, I'm not going to overwhelm you today with a full product demo. Instead, I'm going to be focusing on why Pipedrive is a great choice and how it solves finance broker specific pain points. And hopefully by the end of the webinar, you'll understand how Pipedrive can help you stay on top of deals and client communication, how Pipedrive automation can cut down admin work and improve overall efficiency, how you can use Pipedrive to build stronger referral relationships, and how you can connect Pipedrive seamlessly into your existing technology. So let's just quickly talk about some of the biggest frustrations we hear from brokers when we talk to them about using a CRM. So things like chasing documents and tracking information. So you're just managing that client document piece, tracking approvals, wanting to reduce double handling, just making sure that nothing is missed. Too much time spent on manual admin and follow-ups. So keeping up with emails and calls, we know can be time consuming, and there are some clear points where this can be automated, just to ensure that things don't slip through the cracks. And finally, no clear deal visibility. So not using a structured system, sometimes it can be difficult to see what deals are at risk, what's pending, and what's moving forward. So if any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And the good news is we have a solution that is designed to solve these issues. When it's set up correctly, it does so without adding extra complexity to your day-to-day. Now, through our experience in working with brokers, we've developed a system within Pipedrive that ensures that every deal moves through a structured pipeline with clear milestones. We automate handling of repetitive tasks to save brokers time. All those follow-ups and client updates can happen at the right time every time, again, making sure that things don't slip through the cracks, and really developing those referral relationships to ensure they're nurtured and increase the number and quality of referral leads. Just a few ways that we've helped our clients, just sort of really coming back to some of those points we've already touched on. So reducing admin and simplifying processes. So we've had a brokerage, just eliminating some of that double handling of data to really, saving that admin time each week. Having some clear reporting really helps with improved decision making. So as an example of a growing brokerage, previously using spreadsheets, moving into sort of Pipedrive to get that real-time insights. Streamlining communications, as we've touched on earlier, automating some of those repetitive follow-ups, or putting some processes in place to improve response times, and finally building stronger referrer relationships. Streamlining, so this is a finance team that streamlined how they did this, and just made sure that no opportunity was missed, and they really developed that referral part of their business. So from here, let's jump into Pipedrive itself. I'm going to take you through some of the system, show you around, and give you some real examples of how we're solving these problems. Okay, so here we are in our Pipedrive demo account, and we're looking at our pipeline view. Now, for anyone who's brand new to Pipedrive or maybe hasn't seen a screen like this before, quite simply a pipeline is, we've got these columns across the screen. They represent key stages or milestones in our process. And then the cards we've got down here represent our deals. So in this case here, we're looking at our applications pipeline. So these are all the applications that we're currently working on. And at a glance, we can see exactly what stage these applications are at. So we've got a couple over here in our lead in, so our first stage. We've got 4 deals here that we've quoted. And then all the way over here, ready for settlement, we've got 3 deals that have gone through. And we're just ultimately waiting to wrap those up and mark them as one. Now, this applications pipeline, obviously is core to a Pipedrive setup because it's how we're processing those applications that come in, from many different sources. Now, I guess the stages you can see across the screen here, they may look a little bit different to the processes that you follow. This is a workflow that we've developed in working with a number of finance professionals over the years, and we find it's a great starting point. But please be rest assured that these stages can be 100% customized to meet your individual needs. So if it doesn't look quite right or you do things a little bit differently, that's perfectly understandable, and we can work with you in ensuring that we've got a really good workflow process set up in these pipelines. Now, adding new deals into the system, now this can either be done manually by clicking on Add Deal, bringing them in here like this. You can bulk import deals using a CSV sheet or an Excel sheet. But the way that we recommend as much as possible, if you have a website or a form process that potential clients can submit that form for an inquiry, we highly recommend connecting that into your Pipedrive account. And this is something that we can certainly help you achieve. And what that means is as soon as somebody clicks submit on that form, it's going to create a deal over here in that lead in stage. We can set it up using automation so that a notification is immediately sent to the person who will be looking after that deal to say, hey, you've got a new deal that's sitting in here. You need to reach out to this person. So I think we might already have that one set up in here. So if we look here at our Sally Tester deal, here we've got our new lead follow-up activity that's been created as soon as this deal was brought into the system. From there, like I touched on, the idea is we want to drag and drop and move this deal through to different stages as it meets those requirements. So we might have received the pre-approval documents. We're going to bring the deal here. We might be workshopping with the client to make sure we get them the best product that they require, and we're going to bring it here into the workshopping stage. And at different points in these pipelines, we can automate processes to create those follow-up activities, send emails to either someone who's referred the business or update emails to the client, and just sort of taking it through. And it just creates that real seamless process-driven environment where you're going to make sure that things don't get missed and communication isn't skipped, because you can be reminded using activities at any point during the system. Another key point that we know is really important in this industry is data collection and making sure that we're keeping track of the right details. So we're going to jump into Sally Tester here once again, and you can see here on the left-hand side, we've got a number of custom fields. So we can track things like key dates. We've got some commission type fields, looking at rate and loan details, applicant details, so on and so forth. And this is, just allows us to keep track of those important data points at any point during the system. But there's 2 things that I specifically want to talk about here, because these are really great, both time-saving sort of features, and also just make sure that information is coming in accurately. So what we've got here, you can see here we've got a custom field called client application form. Now, one of the automations that we've got developed in this specific account is that whenever a new deal is created, we're going to create a brand new version of this form. And you can see here, so this is a form that we've connected to Cognito Forms, which is just one of the form processes. And this is unique to Sally's deal here. And you can see here we've already got some of Sally's information in the system. So this is stuff that we've already collected over time, but we can send this to Sally to get further information. So wanting to understand things around living arrangements, then looking at value of properties, all of the information that we could potentially need can be entered in directly by Sally. And once Sally submits this form, so we can click submit. So let's just put some data in here. All right. And click submit. So we've got a nice little thank you message. And if we come back over into the Sally tested deal, this might take just a few moments, but we're going to see a note be created, and any of the fields that we've completed in that form that have corresponding fields in our custom fields, they all get completed as well. Let's just quickly refresh this to see if it comes up. All right, there we go. So it took just a few seconds, but here we can see the financial overview form. So we've got all the details that were completed. Obviously, there's a lot of missing fields here, but that's okay. And we've also got a PDF version of that form that gets saved here as well, which is really great for version control. So that if anything changes at any point, maybe Sally goes back in and updates the amount of credit card debt she's got, we've got some record of what changes we've made at any given point. We can keep a really close eye on that. So that's something that we find is, really, really helpful, having just, quite simply that application form that generates whenever a new deal is created. Now, what we can also do with this application form is part of our workflow process and automation. We can actually send that as part of an email template. So if we've got our send application form link, we can say here, hi Sally, it addresses her directly. Thanks for your inquiry. Here's the extra information we need, and that's going to pull this specific form and populate it here. So when Sally receives this email, she's going to have the link directly into her form. So just another way of being able to automate processes, especially for those things that happen very early on in an application process, where you start needing to collect more and more information. Now, similarly, another email template we've got is for tracking outstanding documents. So this is something that we hear a lot from brokers, regardless of the type of industry they're dealing with. It's that follow-up and tracking of what documents have been supplied and what's still outstanding. So just here, we've got our outstanding documents custom field. And as you can see, if I open this one up, it's a list of all the different types of documents that somebody could require as part of their application process. And we would work closely with you, on the type of documents that you're going to be collecting to make sure this list is going to be relevant. And you can see here, we've selected all the different options that are still required. So we've actually got another email template in here. We'll come in here and choose our email template. We'll just search for documents, and here's our outstanding documents. And what this is actually going to do is going to populate this custom field. So it's not going to show it here because we've got a merge field sort of sitting there. But when this email gets sent to Sally, it's going to say, hey, these are all the documents that we still need from you. So it's going to make it really easy to track that. And what's really important is what we can do is once we've received those documents, we can come in here and we can mark them off and click save. And this is going to be our most up-to-date list of the information we need from the client. One thing I didn't mention when I first talked about that first email template, so I'll mention it here, is when you're sending these email templates, we're using the Pipedrive email sync. So what that means is that it's sending as though it's coming directly from your sent item. So whether or not you use like a Microsoft 365 or a G Suite account, it's going to look like it's coming directly from there, and you'll actually see it in your sent items as well. So this is one of those integrations that works really, really well, and allows you to do things like this, whether it's using the templates to send an email, you can automate the sending of these emails. So as deals progress to different stages, that information is going to get sent straight out. So hopefully you can see from those two examples, the outstanding documents and the client application form, just how much time you can save in collecting that information and just having it easily readily available, and using templates to manage that really quite simply. All right, The next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to jump into a different pipeline here. We're going to talk about our referral pipeline. Now we know referrals are a big part of this industry, and nurturing those relationships are really, really important. So we've developed a referral pipeline that a number of our clients are using and find it really, really successful. So in our first pipeline, our applications, each of these cards represented an individual application. If we look at our referrals, each of these represents somebody who could potentially refer business into us. So again, we've got our lead in stage here, our contact made once we've, maybe this is where we've identified somebody who could, be a good referrer. We've made contact with them. We've managed to catch up with them. If there's a referral agreement that you have, having that information sent out to you. And then, tracking things like, have they sent an applicant through and has the application been lodged? Now, one of the things that we've set up in this demo environment, which works very, very well, is when a deal is created in this pipeline, so our referral pipeline, here on the person, so Edward Braun here is our potential referrer. They work at Finance Loan. Again, we've created a referral form here. So this is another version of that, of a Cognito form. And this form is going to be specific for Edward here. So we can send this to Edward and say, hey, anytime you want to send us a referral or you send us a client, just bookmark this on your browser. All you need to do is complete this information, and that information is going to come directly to us. What is then going to happen if we were to fill this out and click submit? It's going to create a brand new deal in our applications pipeline at the first stage. And if we come into the deal itself, if we come down into our referrer details, it will actually link in the person who's referred that information. So it's really just creating a really nice closed loop from referrer being able to pass that information through to the deal being created, but making sure we're tracking who sends that information through to us. So just a really nice process. This has been put together again using those Cognito forms and just tying them into Pipedrive, just to try to make a really nice process. The reason it's important, I guess, to track, where those referrals are coming from. Obviously, it's great to know that information, but we can then drive that into some of our reporting. So if I jump into our insights, which is the Pipedrive reporting sort of tool, here we've got an overview dashboard. So I'll just start off by coming down to our referrals, because that's what we're talking about. And you can see here, we can start seeing, how many referrals we're getting from different organizations, or how many referrals we're getting from an individual person. So this is a referral deals by person for this year. So we can see here that Jason Abbott has been very prolific, and they've sent through 31 referrals. 9 of those have been won, 9 of them still open, 13 lost. So we certainly want to make sure that Jason is on the Christmas card list. But yeah, we can sort of break that down even further. We can, break down individual organizations. So this is roles accounting. And we can see how many different referrals have come through at different months. Again, seeing the win rate and sort of what's coming through. Just to look at some of the other reports that are available that are non-referral related, I guess. So here we can, tracking our applications and looking at how many deals we've won over time. So this is the deal and our deal value, looking at the average value of deals, how long our deals are staying in our pipeline. So looking at that average duration in days. Looking at our conversion rates, this is a really handy report because it can show us where drop-offs might occur. We would expect from lead into those next stages to be a little bit of a drop-off, but if at any point there were significant drops, it's a great opportunity to review the processes and see where the breakdown might be occurring. We can look at things like how deals are progressing, how much deal movement is happening in different months, looking at why deals are being lost, so we can track that information as well. And then finally, we can introduce some sort of revenue forecast reports, so looking at what deals are currently in the pipeline and the likelihood of them winning and when they're expected to close, so we can start doing some business planning around that as well. So this is a really brief introduction into the reports in Pipedrive, but hopefully you can see that you're able to sort of pull out some really, really key pieces of data. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before we jump back into the slide presentation is campaigns. So campaigns is the email marketing tool within Pipedrive. What we looked at before with those email templates, that's our email sync. So that's sort of direct communication. But these campaigns are more designed for marketing style communication. So whether that's sending out your monthly newsletter, having a drip campaign sequence, which is potentially educational, you might have some follow-up sort of sequences depending on the engagement that people have with you and whether they go through for an application or if they hold off for a certain amount of time. I just wanted to quickly show you, we've got some templates here. Some of the templates that come within Pipedrive look fantastic and a really great starting point. So here's one that we've just put together, which is just introducing a new broker. Now these templates, we've got a lot of information that we can share, and I'm not going to go through on how to build one of these templates in this call, but it is kind of like a drag and drop editor, and you can come through and really customize and create really good looking emails to be sent out. So yeah, there's just two different examples that we've got in there. Like I mentioned, there's different ways to send campaigns. We can do that broadcast style, newsletter, a single email to many people all at once, or then you can also have your drip sequences. What's really important to note, we sort of touched on automations and creating activities out of automations and reminders and things like that. We can also use automations to send campaigns at different points as well. So a really good example could be an educational sequence for people who inquire but maybe don't meet the serviceability right yet. You might have a sequence of emails that talks to how to improve savings or make changes to lifestyle that can help with that serviceability, and they can be triggered at certain points, either in a pipeline sequence or if the deal is lost for a particular reason. So really, really helpful there. I'm going to quickly jump into our actual account. I just wanted to show you some of the reporting that's also available as part of those campaigns. So if we come in here, this is one of our most recent webinar invites. So here we can see information around that, right? So we can see here we've got 911 opens, almost 80 unique clicks, looking at delivery rates, bounce, unsubscribed. So all the tracking metrics that you would expect in a marketing campaign or marketing tool like this is available within Pipedrive. I just came into this one to show you because our demo account just does not have enough data to go through that. Okay, I think we've covered some of the key points I want to touch on in the sort of demo portion of this webinar. As I've mentioned a few times, if there's a particular area that you want to dive into a little bit more, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to deep dive into something and really show you how this could work specifically for you. Okay, I've jumped back into the slide presentation just so we can start talking about some of the integrations. We've got third-party applications. So you can see on the screen here, probably a number of logos that some of you are quite familiar with. And these are examples of, probably the most common examples of integrations that we do in the finance industry. So you can see here, we've got things like your email and calendar platforms like Gmail and Microsoft Office. You've got your appointment scheduling tools, things like Calendly, proposal and contract software like PandaDoc and DocuSign. Really importantly, this is a key one, is the phone and SMS system, so tools like Just Call and AirCall. And you can see at the very top there, we've got our, obviously very finance-specific aggregator platforms. We've got examples of Infinity for Intelligence and UX. Now, those aggregator platforms, they're integrations that we've developed here at Moti. So if you don't see the aggregator that you use on this list, please let us know. There's a good chance this is something that we may already be working on, or potentially even close to finishing. So yeah, reach out to us if you don't see your aggregator there. So with these integrations and putting this tech stack together, it's really around just making sure that we can, automate that communication, make it really easy to book and schedule meetings, syncing that data between different systems is real key as well. really coming down to that, just trying to eliminate as much double handling as possible and saving time. So let's talk about working with Modi. So now that you've seen how Pipedrive can help transform your business, let me take you through our structured process to ensure that the CRM is really tailored to meet your business needs. So step one is to book a one-on-one demo. So in this demo, we'll go into a lot more detail than we did in this session. We sort of looked at things at a very high level. That one-on-one demo will give us an opportunity to really look at what's happening in your business, understand what's going on, and show you some things in Pipedrive that can really help streamline and improve your business. When it comes to booking one of those demos, please don't hesitate to reach out to the team, but you'll also receive some emails after this, as I've mentioned, and in that will be some links to be able to book those one-on-one sessions. Step two is our discovery and customization. So once you decide to move forward, we conduct a real deep dive into your business processes. So this allows us to really map out your workflows, how you currently do things, which allows us to develop sort of those pipelines, plan those key automations, look at what integrations are required. Again, just really tailoring it to meet your needs, so that we can, again, make sure that we help streamline your business. Step three, we've got our implementation and training. So our team takes over and handles the full setup of the Pipedrive system from custom fields all the way through to those third-party integrations. During this process, there's lots of communication backwards and forwards so that you can understand exactly what's going on. And we want to make sure that we're just tailoring this exactly to your needs. Once we've completed that implementation, the system's built out and ready to go, we provide hands-on training for you on the team, really just making sure that everyone has got the skills and is confident in using the system from day one. We want to make sure that we just don't hand over a system that's just going to sit in the background. We want to make sure the team can get in and use it. Finally, we've got our ongoing support. So we're not interested in just building the system, handing over the keys and walking away. We want to make sure that we can provide that ongoing support and make those tweaks and adjustments as your business grows and develops. This is something we see really, really commonly across a number of industries, that people, once they start using Pipedrive, they see other ways that they can streamline or improve things, or their business starts developing and growing, and we want to make sure that we can meet you on that process as well. And we're also going to check in with you from time to time, especially if there's new features that are in Pipedrive or new things that have been developed, just to make sure that you are kept up to date, and you've got the best possible system. Okay, so let's jump into some Q&A right now. Now, I am very aware that this is a pre-recorded video, but we still wanted to make sure that you had the chance to get some answers or hear some common questions that we get from brokers in this space. So we've got a list here of some of the more common questions. If there is anything else that you need to know, again, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. So first one, the big one, what's it going to cost? Now, I'm not going to put any pricing up on the screen because it is going to very much depend on the type of solution that you're looking for. And we will provide information and up-to-date pricing in those follow-up emails that we send through. We just want to make sure that the pricing is up to date and it's, you can sort of see the right values. If you'd like to see, so that's to do with the implementation process. If you'd like to see Pipedrive pricing, you can jump onto the Pipedrive website, click on their pricing link, and that'll take you through to the most up-to-date pricing that's going on. Next, how long does it take to implement Pipedrive for my business? So this can very much vary. So going back onto the previous question about cost, depends on the type of complexity and sort of the integration needs for your business. Typically, we can have a templated finance broker system up and running in as little as 2 weeks. So that's a very similar system to what I took you through on the call. But if you're looking for a fully customized solution, so really leaning into sort of that discovery and customization, generally we can have that up and running for you and your team trained within a sort of 4 to 8 week period. Can Pipedrive integrate with my existing tools? So obviously we covered off earlier on some of those third-party integrations, and we've seen some really, really common names there. But there are lots of tools outside of that list that we can connect into. A lot of them will have either native integrations or our team can use platforms like Zapier or Make to make sure that we can connect to those applications. And we've connected to numerous different platforms. Another thing to note, however, if we can't connect via those tools, here at Modi, we have an API developer team, which means we can get really into the weeds of things and connect some systems that may not have those connections through something like a Zapier or Make. So if there is something that you want to make sure that you can integrate into Pipedrive and you can have that working seamlessly, don't hesitate to ask, reach out, and we can let you know how we can go with that one. How do I know my data is secure? So security is a real top priority for Pipedrive. You can see I've got here on the screen some of the certifications, standards, and processes that Pipedrive has. So for anyone who sort of needs this information, we're going to send the recording through for you, so you'll have that there, but feel free to take a screenshot. I know that these are some, obviously very important things when it comes to data security, but yeah, again, I can assure you that Pipedrive takes this really seriously. All right, they are, I guess, the core questions, Q&A sort of questions that we get quite regularly. Like I mentioned earlier, if there is anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're more than happy to sort of dive into any specifics that we need to. Look, I really hope that you found today's sessions really valuable, and you can see how Pipedrive can streamline your business and is particularly effective in its industry. As I've mentioned, we are going to be sending through some emails which will contain not only the recording of this session, but having those links to be able to book in the one-on-one demos with the team, or even have the opportunity to reach out to us to ask any questions. Now, if you do have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reply to those emails or reach out to us. More than happy to have a chat and see how we can help. So lastly, I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit more about Pipedrive and how Modi works with Pipedrive in this industry. We know that everyone's time is really valuable, so thank you very much. Look forward to chatting with you potentially down the track and seeing if we can work together. Hope you all have a great day and talk soon. Bye.